down because the first quarter is coming to an end, and I just want to make sure that you take time to get your grades in order now. I don't want to answer questions about grades next week. So Friday is when teachers are allowed to put in grades for first quarter. So I put on here the last day for makeup work is Thursday. This Thursday, yeah. So I'm available this week after school, Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday. So if you need to come in after school to get things straightened out, do it. Arrange your ride if you want. Not right now. The last day to remediate chapter 2 is Monday. That's posted now in Big Ideas Math. You go to Big Ideas Math. And it should be called chapter 2 remediation, but I feel like, yeah, chapter 2 grade remediation. So that's if you got lower than a 60. Questions on grade stuff. Get your grades in order this week. Yes. Yes. So you can check that out and ask questions tomorrow about that. All right. So on Friday we talked about whether something was linear or nonlinear. And so looking at a graph, something's linear if it's a straight line. Looking at a table, it's linear if it changes by constant intervals. But what does it look like if you're writing an equation? Did anybody do it? Did anybody write a nonlinear equation? What did you have? I'm going to change that just slightly. Okay, so she said power of 4, and that's absolutely right. If x has a power of 4, it's nonlinear. For something to be linear, x is to the first power. It's a plain old x. Okay? You also need an equation, so make sure there's an equal sign. Who else has one? Who can make a nonlinear equation? Something that would come out with a curve and not a straight line. There's some rules that we wrote down Friday. Can you find the rules that you wrote down about equations? Special rules for x. What are the special rules for x? Okay, she got that. Not a power other than 1. Good. Okay, good. This is supposed to have a y in it. Alright, so that's not linear because it's an absolute value bar. Or if it was a radical. If x was on a radical. We're not saying that there can't be any square roots, but x can't be a square root. There was another example in your book, it looked like this, where x was an exponent. Alright, those are all nonlinear. Those will make curvy graphs or not just plain straight line graphs. Okay, so I'll give you some linear examples. Alright, linear would be 5x plus 2, y equals mx plus b. That's some more linear type thing. Okay, alright, let's check Friday's assignment. Page 205, 1 through 21. Just page 205, 129. It starts where you get an end.
I know we have over.
No, not really. Some. No. We didn't.
Oh my gosh.
Teach us. I didn't do it.
I did double one.
Yeah, you are set. You're especially.
I don't like it.
Wow.
I know what I want for
I'd say $70. I'll give it to you.
No.
That's just.
I like the pencil. That's what I want.
Yeah.
So you can check. All right, number 7 is linear. Because the x's are going up by 1 and the y's are going up by 5. What's happening here? Number 9, the x's are going up by 4, but the y's do not change consistently. So that is a nonlinear. Explain why a V-shaped graph does not represent a linear function. It's not one straight line. Number 13, multiplication is not linear. It has to be addition or subtraction. Number 15, nonlinear. 17 is a trick, so we should look at 17. 17 actually is in fact linear because the x is normal. It's all about what's happening to the x value, not the whole equation. You can have a radical in an equation as long as it's not around x. Number 19 and 21 are both linear. Does anybody have a question about deciding if something is linear or non-linear? Alrighty, we're going to start 3.4 today. I'll tell you.
Davis. What is that supposed to be?
Alright, you guys are going to read your book silently for a few minutes. So everybody needs to be on page 214. I want you to try to figure this out before I do it. Okay? So sometimes I come up and I start working and you think you make no sense, Mrs. Baldwin. So why don't you look at the book and read the book and see what the book has to say before I start, and that might help you with a little preview. And then you're going to try 1 through 3 on 214. So, let's say I give you at least, I would say 8 minutes. So I'll talk again at 12:08. So everyone's silent until 12:08. Yes. Okay, you just wait on that. Okay, maybe look at the examples or go past it. And actually, if you finish early for early finishers, we're actually going to do 1 through 6 in the gray boxes. Your phones are put away. All you're doing is staring at that textbook. Yeah, but
I didn't bring mine in.
okay, let me get one. Okay, I'm going to try to answer any questions you might have. So first off, function notation, they'll put this f of x in. That can oftentimes just be replaced by y. But the reason f of x is used is because the x part, the person writing it, x shows what number gets plugged in. Okay, I'm not sure if you knew that, but what goes in the x spot shows what number gets plugged in. So here this says f of x is negative 4x plus 7. We're supposed to evaluate. Again, evaluate means plug in. It says plug in 2 and then plug in negative 2. So over here, they plugged in 2. So this little symbol here, this isn't anything math. The 2 just means the math they're showing is plugged in 2. So they took the x out, put 2 in, did the math, and it's done. There's nothing math happening over here. That's not like f times negative 2. So this answer should actually be shown, and this is how you read it. This says f of negative 2 equals negative 1. And that means when you plug 2 in, you get a negative 1 out. And then here they plugged in negative 2, and they got a 15 out. Example 2 is more difficult. F of t is the outside temperature, t hours after 6 a.m. So this means 0 hours after 6 a.m. So at 6 a.m. it's 58 degrees. This means 6 hours after 6 a.m. What time is it? 6 hours after 6 a.m. Yeah, so at noon, the temperature is N. And this, what? That's crazy. This means 3.5 hours after 6, the temperature is lower than 9 hours after 6. So what this is really saying with symbols is 3.5 hours. So it says 9:30 is cooler than, what's 9 hours after 6? 3 p.m.? So you don't see the time here, but that's 9:30 that has cooler temperatures, less than the temperatures at 3 o'clock. You're learning to read symbols here more than you're learning to do math. Okay, that is reading symbols. Let's take a look at these. So, man, this is really 9 problems. Yeah, it's presenting as 1, 2, 3, but it's actually 9. How is it 9? It says evaluate, and that means plug in, but it says to plug in negative 4. It says to plug in 0, and it says to plug in 1/2. So if I have to plug in 3 times each of this, isn't that more like 9? That's actually 9 problems. Okay. So I have to plug in negative 4 and do the math, 0 and do the math, and 1/2 and do the math. Romani, you do negative 4. Actually, this whole row, I'm going to be looking at negative 4 for you guys if you're not done yet. Your whole row, I'm going to be looking for 0 if you haven't done 0 yet. Your whole row, you're going to be doing 1/2 if you haven't done 1/2 yet. You do. So, oh, you already did it. Did you plug in negative 4? Oh, you did 1/2. What'd you do? Negative 4. Yes, just doing it. Well, with 4, I would get negative 8 plus 1 is negative 7.
Yeah, that's what I got.
So I show that by saying f of negative 4 is how you're supposed to write your answer. This means I plugged -4 in and I got -7 out. That's what that means when you plug in. Because we talked last week about inputs and outputs. This means when -4 went in, -7 came out. So we talked about inputs and outputs. So you're going to input 3 different things to get 3 different outputs for all of these. Which one? Pick one. You want to do -4 for all 3? Go ahead. Pick one. Is that too much work for you? Just pick one. It's all right. All right. You're supposed to. But if you don't have anything on your paper, right? So if the idea of doing 9 makes you not do anything, I'm telling you, at least pick one of each, right? Just reduce it. If it's too much, just reduce it and do something, you know? Okay. That sounds good. Yeah. All right, so now I'll do 0. So that would be 2 times 0 plus 1. 0 plus 1 is 1. So f of 0 gave me an output of 1. This means when I put in a 0, I got out 1. Normally it says f of x because the x is in it. When x is in it, that's the equation. What do I get when I put in 1/2? 2 times 1/2, what is it? 2. 1 plus 1 is 2. So when I put in 1/2, I get a 2 out. Here's how I want you to write your answers. This type of symbols tells me what you put in. I put the 1/2 in to get this. I put the 0 in to get this. I put the -4 in to get that. So that's all for number 1. Now do number 2 and 3. I know some of y'all done. Let's see right on. Maybe most of you are done. Who's done with all 3 did 9? Or did 9 times? Yeah, that's only 4. Okay.
I had the right idea, but I did it wrong.
Wait, would you mind telling me, like, the last week talk about?
Well, I see 4, but I haven't seen a -4, so I ended up getting 9.
Oh.
But I had the right idea.
No, you still did.
Because I did all 3 of them, like,
Good job. Thanks for sharing. I like that interactive response. 214. I went 214. Yeah, we're done with this one. Didn't I hand that to you? Oh no, I'll check for you. Yeah, that's. Yeah, that's right. Keep your chapter. Alright, G of -4 is -5. G of 0 is -1. G of 1/2 is -3/2. If you are done, make sure you wrote it like I did in the squares. Yep. Make sure you write it in the squares.
That was
You Because the answer to -4 on number 2 is a +3. It's a negative, it turns it positive. Who had that? Sarah spoke up for me. Thank you. It's when I put -4 into 2, the answer should be 3. I had -5 up there. All right, I'm gonna go on to number 3. Okay, thank you. All right, and now I'll do this one. 1/2 minus 5/6 times -4. 1/2 plus 20/6. That's 3/6 plus 20/6 is 23/6. -4 is a 23/6. Are you gonna get that right? I got them all done. Okay, JC, good job.
Oh, good job.
Hey, if you give me that, I'll stop messing
Take your shoe.
Everybody read the turkey problem. If you haven't read it yet, read the turkey problem.
Where about?
I will get him. Super soaker.
Read the turkey problem, Travis. Read the turkey problem.
Oh, it's face lit up. His face lit up. Hey. Sure. I woke up here.
All right, this says you cook a turkey for 3 hours and 45 minutes. Let F of T be the temperature of the turkey T hours after it's been in the oven. Explain the meaning of each statement. Who thinks they got it? What's letter A mean for the turkey? Yeah, what does this mean? It doesn't say turkey anywhere in it. It gives an F of 0 is 67. What does this have to do with the turkey? Yep. Okay. That is true. So this is it's 2 hours after being placed in the oven. So let's put this into a sentence about the turkey. Who can make a sentence about the turkey and the temperature? Ramsey, do you want to try it? It's been 0 time and it's 67 degrees is the temperature. Okay, there's a good shot the oven's still preheating. But what's happening with the turkey? It's not in the oven yet. It's cold. This turkey is starting the day at 67 degrees. Okay? When it hasn't been cooked yet, the turkey is set at 67 degrees. The turkey starts at 67 degrees before it goes in the oven. 0 time been cooked. Okay? Alright, so that was good. Now who can make a whole sentence about letter B with regards to a turkey, time, and temperature? I want a sentence with turkey, time, and temperature. Landon? Yes. The turkey is 165 after cooking for 3.75 hours. 3 hours and 45 minutes. And that's what they say your turkey has to be. It has to be at least 165. That's when the bacteria die. At 160, there's some bacteria still alive that can hurt our stomachs. Dogs can eat it. They don't get as sick for eating the raw turkey. But our stomachs can't break down bacteria unless it gets to 165. The bad stuff dies.
So you prefer somebody with that?
Oh, with raw chicken? You sure could. Yeah, or raw turkey. A lot of times though, people just throw up for like 6 hours. So it's not like a guarantee. It's not like a guaranteed. Raise your hand if you've had food poisoning. Do you know what caused your food poisoning? It could be meat that wasn't cooked to a warm enough temperature. I have a dog. All right, let's go on. Okay, these next two are more difficult. Let's interpret these next two. F of 3 equals F of 4. What does that mean with regards to this turkey? Madison, do you have any good ideas? Man, what does the 3 represent? And then 4 hours. But what does the equal sign mean? Sarah? Yes, the turkey temp is the same. At hour 3 and hour 4. The turkey temp equals. Okay, we're still talking about turkey temps. But then what does letter D mean? It's a totally different statement. Oh, weird. The parabola. Yes? Mm-hmm. The turkey temp after 3.75 hours, so 3 hours and 45 minutes, is hotter than after 4 hours. So they must have taken it out and it started cooling off by the time hour 4 came along. It's hotter after 3 hours and 45 minutes than it is after 4 hours. That's what that means. Really challenging you to understand function notation. Raise your hand if you've seen f of x before. Okay. A lot of people will say, man, I don't know what that f of x was. So hopefully we're starting to get it. I assigned you a bunch of questions. Let's see here. What's happening here? I feel we don't really have time to get to this. So let me see what I assigned you. I assigned you 1 through 15 odd. What I'm going to do instead is I'm going to alter this assignment a little bit. It's page 219. I want you to do 1 through 9 odd and do number 10. Okay, so I shortened it some so that we don't have to do anymore. So, for the next 7 minutes, I'm giving you time to work on this. You have 7 minutes to work on this. Yeah, look, I'm almost done. You know, if you're really slow, then get used to, being early finishers. Early finishers, you guys can practice the evens as well. But check your answers and the odds, and let me know if you have any questions. Yeah. Yeah.
I'm gonna use a separate piece of book.
Yep. Go